And so as we gather and we fire ourselves up to support our candidates, we need to understand these different languages that are being spoken in our community. And it's the language of money, it's the language of development versus environment, and it's most importantly the language of empathy for one another. We need to understand that and learn that, so that we can become good followers for our leaders. Probably the most important language we need to understand is the language of oppression. And we should be watchdogs for that, for other people and for this place that we live in. That language should be learned as we consider what happens on the waterfront here, or what happens in Lake Whatcom. Then as we learn that language, we develop these laws to enforce. And I think the most important law that we should enforce is natural law. During the canoe journey, we're going to have a number of gatherings and meetings taking place. On the 28th, there's a respected elder from the Onondaga band of the Six Nations of Iroquois. His name is Orrin Lyons. You can Google him, you know. But he's kind of like Jewel James's hero. And he's an elder. He speaks about natural law. How it's really simple is, we got to have clean water so we can be clean ourselves. And he goes on, he talks about that in his whole time with you. He's a big believer in natural law. He'll be here on the 28th, and then he'll stay for 2 days of indigenous treaty rights discussion. It's going to happen on the dirt floor of our smokehouse, where other elders from other areas of our homeland are going to sit down with people from New Zealand and people from South America, from the Kumeyaay tribe in Mexico, San Diego area. So it'd be good if you can join us at some time, because I think it's important to hear these different ways of talking about things when it talks about quality of life and what laws apply to that. So all of this is things we need to consider in terms of language and people and our homeland. These all are elements of this plan that we have for success for our people. And I really believe that it's the people within this party that are going to execute this plan that we develop. Because I believe that this party can see the future of this community and this homeland through the eyes of our children. And I think that's the most sacred responsibility, is that what we're doing today is for those young ones that are walking amongst us today. We have a lot to enjoy here. It's what we leave for the next generation, I think, is the most important thing. So we talk a lot about quality of life, but I think what is partner with that, or goes hand in hand with that, is our way of life. And our language, way of life, is called Chilangan. This is our way of life. This is our manner of being, how we conduct ourselves. And there are rules that go with the way of life. It's called Shep in our language. So our way of life and how we treat each other, our way of life and how we treat our environment, and our way of life and how we treat our visitors. It's really important. I think it's important that others would see us as they have a good way of life here in Whatcom County, in the city of Bellingham. It's because the leaders and followers are one, and they help and support one another. And I know I've met a lot of Democratic leaders over the years, but the ones that stand out in my mind are the ones that my mother talked about, who actually did this before I did, before she passed on. And she used to talk so highly of Sid Yates, so highly of Scoop Jackson, so highly of Senator Magnuson, because they looked out for everybody. They didn't look out for just a single interest. They looked out for everybody. I grew up on the Lummi Reservation, and we used to come to Bellingham for commodity foods because we didn't have enough food. And it's because of those leaders that we were able to, and President Kennedy, that we were able to have food for our tables back then. As a matter of fact, my mom would make us pack that food up and bring it to those that even had less than us, you know. And that's the way it should be. So, this recognition as people, I think, becomes more important than recognition as government. We're so diverse now. I was asking about the little town of Nooksack and Emerson. Who are these people now? Tracy and I went up to Chilliwack the other day to get supplies for her basket weaving. And we didn't recognize that area anymore. And who are these people? I think it's important for us to know that. Because pretty soon there's going to be, you know, more of them, whatever them is, than us. You know, and I think we're trying to define us, you know, as Democrat people, and the things that we believe in, the things that we want to uphold and protect. So, just these few words I wanted to share with you, and this invitation to come and join us again for this week of celebration and living this primitive way of life through the canoe journey. And I hope to join you someplace. I'll be in that little greenhouse north of the neon sign. And stop by and say hello. It's my aunt's house. And she greets everybody as if you are her son and daughter, so don't feel shy about poking your head in there, and we can have some food and talk, and we can go down and listen to what's taking place on the floor as we celebrate our homeland. So, Siam Nostalgia, just thanking each and every one of you for allowing me to speak a little bit on behalf of the Lummi people and the Nooksack people. We're all one, so thank you.